The indigo children, the indigo children. Alright. Looks freaky. Yeah, I just made like 2 videos kind of in a row. It's fun to do this shit. It's fun to think of what people are gonna think. Isn't it? Isn't it, people? I didn't plan, I mean, I hardly ever, I don't think I ever plan any of the videos that I do. Never have a single idea as to what I'm gonna say. It's nice. Goddamn, people. You know, in the context of in light of the awesome beauty of every single thing in nature. And imagine if we turn this planet into a garden. Imagine if we turn this place into a garden where technology were integrated into it. And this is something also that I want to talk about. It just reminded me, and you know, thank God that it did. Alright. Technology can only really be created or developed effectively over a long period of time, and starting at the smallest possible level. Technology, if we had started with nanotechnology, if we could have started, see, the thing is, we're starting from the top down, the top being the most crude, the most large. Even in the creation of these machines, it's the top down. Nature started from the bottom up. The only way to really create perfection through development of technology is to see the goal, or have a general idea, and then to slowly, progressively develop it. If we are going to create the AI that we want to create, it must be the perfect one the first time. Because if it's not, then we will be... I mean, it's not that it must not be a basically retarded first try, but to do so would be a travesty, because essentially what you're doing is we're testing the waters of this. We're experimenting with this thing that we have. I mean, imagine creating mentally retarded people and then killing them before they were able to even be really alive. This is going to be... we have to treat these new existences that we will be creating like people, like children, like... If we don't treat every single thing that is based in the process of reality in general, if we don't treat all of everything as though it is divine or as though it is God, we will ruin it. And that is period. That is the end of discussion. The Native Americans had essentially this same view, and they were capable of sustaining the system. We, on a much larger scale, must have a similar view, but a very sophisticated one beyond the comprehension of the Native Americans, which is that we, being of this sacred garden, we must respect every single thing that exists. And that's not to say that I can't pluck a flower and eat it, as I have done. Dandelions are edible, by the way. But that means that because that's not disrespecting the plant. Disrespecting the plant would be unknowingly seeing to it as in the entirety of its species, its eventual destruction. That is disrespecting a thing. To be ignorant is not disrespect, but to be willfully in knowledge, to be willfully an asshole, is to be an asshole. I mean, that's... So we must realize that everything that exists is divine. This can't be a concept. This can't be an idea. This moment and all that is within it is divine. But to be a god means to be the razor's edge. Ultimately means that we are above all other creatures. But without the blade, what is a razor? What is the razor's edge? Can it even exist? That would be nonsense. We are the razor's edge. Therefore, it is the integrity of the blade which makes us. And soon we won't even be... right now we're not the razor's edge, really. Well, technically the ultimate... the Earth... Okay, from now on, Earth is the name for the planetary organism. Earth is a creature, okay? Earth is the name. Earth is a name for this creature, okay? Earth is not born yet. Earth has not been born yet. Only with AI will it be born, and I've said that before, but it's very important to realize that. We have to start at the end of our... we have to develop to a extreme degree AI before we actually create it. That's what I meant by before. We have to literally develop the technology before we start making AI. To the point we have to literally go beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond until we get to the point where it's so sophisticated that we could literally make a body for it that would be able to contain it. We need to reduce the size of our computing and all of that, and then get the technology down to be able to create it and all the theories and shit like that, and then create it. We can't start at this crude level. We can't start at the top. We have to start at the bottom. And if it comes down to it, and we need to use nanotechnology to create this super intelligence, then we need to do that. I don't want to see, and I don't think it would be right if we brought something into the world and brought it back out through artificial intelligence. I don't think that's right. And this is kind of a random weird topic, but it's going to come up. And I'm probably one of the first people, maybe not the only, but one of the first people saying this, thinking of it in that way. We're going to have to make machines that can then make machines that can then make machines that can then make the AI. I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it, would be to create the machines that do that first, and then maybe have the first AI be a machine that creates the machines. You know what I'm saying? So having it that way, but then at that point you would literally have to start at the end, because if you're going to have the AI at the beginning creating the machines, then that AI needs to be at least planned out to be able to have a body. Because the ultimate goal is to get the AI into a body of some kind. Because then we're creating a God beyond us. we're creating new species. I think this is probably going to go over. I hope not. See you later.